Welcome back, everybody, to SSL Premier here at the Nexon Arena. We're about halfway through our matches here. Of course, match number 3 was forfeited by Alive, who is not here in Korea. So we're going to be jumping straight into match 3, or I guess 4, but the third one of the night is going to be INnoVation versus Dark.
Yep, Dark, our first champion of Star League, actually defeating Stats in the grand finals last year. And now goes against his teammate, or former teammate, I should say, INnoVation, as SKT and all the other Keswick teams have disbanded. So we're now in this kind of golf-esque sponsorship type era where everyone just has personal sponsorships. You know, you have Splice, for example, for Stats, and Solar. Jenner is still like the only traditional StarCraft team left in Korea right now. We're also going to have SOS and Solar matching up as our final match of the evening. So he's actually here. Ironic as it is, I saw him just moments ago, kind of giving Stats a pat on the back after that dominating performance. And here are the maps: Mercy Whirlwind, Overgrowth, and Abyssal Reef.
Abyssal Reef.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like this match is going to be pretty cool. Both of these players a bit tricky. Solar and SOS, I feel like they can definitely bring out the wonky builds, especially in a best of 3. To try to surprise their opponents, if you will. But of course, we are going to have to go into INnoVation versus Dark. Dark actually destroyed Patience in the last week and made it look very easy. INnoVation kind of similarly did the same to Zest. So I think these two guys are going to have a pretty equal matchup here.
Definitely so. I think this is going to be a really exciting one. INnoVation in recent times has absolutely been the stronger Terran. People were whispering the B word, saying, you know, if INnoVation wins, Katowice, he might be a bourgeois. People were saying that, but he did not. And you know, now he's looking for another title here in the SSL. He failed in the semis of GSL. Here is Dark, a Star League champion.
INnoVation was all smiles. Dark doesn't. It looks like he's watching a movie or something. Like there's no expression on his face.
He's actually just staring at the lobby countdown.
Focused as ever. He's trying to take after his robot buddy INnoVation. He's actually wearing the SSL Series 2017 jacket
that I don't have yet.
Which we don't have.
Producers listening.
No, but that's actually cool. I haven't seen that yet. It's cool that he's wearing that.
I want that.
Both of them are.
Yeah.
It's got Jenner on it too. I need that sweater.
I need it, man. I got my Jenner flag in my room.
Oh yeah.
Defending Pro League champions, man. I had to take the KT one down.
For sure. But guys, we are going to be jumping into set number 1 right now. INnoVation versus Dark on Newkirk Precinct.
INnoVation 이신형 다 황영우
Standing on the bottom right in the blue, the Terran player, it is INnoVation.
And his opponent, bottom left in purple, is Star League champion Dark. In SSL last year, beating current GSL champion Stats in our most dangerous finals casting setup we ever had, where we were constantly afraid of falling to break our necks, but we got through it.
That was scary.
We were high up there, all right, and it was dangerous.
That might even be scarier than the turbine that I have here at the Jenner SSL Premier.
Definitely. I think your turbine looks like it's on fire, so
yeah.
That's always another scary part of that.
Could blow up any second.
Well,
but in that one, it's like if we leaned back at all, it's like we could have just toppled over and died.
He says he loves Kanata. I'm not 100% sure what the 223 means. That reference is lost to me, but anyways,
223, maybe that's like his birthday, February 23rd.
Could be.
Or like, for you Europeans out there, the 22nd of March. I guess that's also what it could be. Like, that was 5 days ago, right?
Yeah. But Koreans usually do the same date format as Westerners, generally speaking. Well, let's see how this match plays out, as these two are former teammates. But the game has changed a lot. The BlizzCon changes that came into the game, like Blink DTs, for example, have changed. I mean, I'm not saying that Blink DTs changed a lot, but like those patches.
You're talking about those patches, those
like,
times.
I'm like that one time that Blink DT like all in somebody at GSL and everyone got excited, that we never saw it again. But yeah. You know, obviously the meta has changed a lot since then. It's not the same kind of play, but no doubt, because these two are now teamless, they practice customs together. They scrim, if you will. It feels like a scrim, you know, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
So they know each other's playstyle really well, practiced each other for several years. We're going to just have a standard early game here. Overlord does actually see the factory coming up, as is normal for this map. I suppose you could argue that INnoVation could have made the factory to the right side of this map, of the base, I should say. But, I mean, this is so standard, it's hardly worth hiding. Yeah, so we're going to see Dark take a third hatch. Actually, a fast, hatch.
Some of that Georgian accent making its way out onto the cast. That was interesting.
Hatch. Hatching it.
Dude, Reed Rapid Milton. He showed me his
faster caster.
Yeah, the faster caster. He showed me his Texan accent the other day. That was fantastic. You got to hear that. He says he's going to keep it secret from everyone on the cast, but not from you, Wolf. You can hear the secret accent. So.
I've got to hear it, because I already know he keeps a bunch of cowboy boots and big cowboy hats in his house. I'm not sure how he imported his horse from Texas in the house.
Not sure how that got here, but it's here. I saw it.
Yeah.
One time I went to go pick him up at his house, and I heard some interesting sounds coming from it, and I knew it had to be the horse.
Every time we're at the Korean barbecue restaurant, because you know in Korea you just yell at the waiters and waitresses. It's not rude. That's commonly how you ask for things. He's like, when he first came here, he wasn't sure about his Korean. He was like, "Can you holler at him for me?" You know.
Oh man. But seriously, it was pretty cool. It sounds
check it out.
Nothing like he sounds on cast, because I didn't actually talk to him too much about it, but maybe he just got, like this happened to all of us. We all had like kind of slight accents when we came out here, and they slowly went away as you kind of just do like the studio work and you work with other English speakers that come from somewhere else in the world. You kind of just become normalized English eventually.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess that happened to him as well, even before he came out here. So I had never heard his Texan accent up until that time, and I was like, "Holy crap! Sounds like a totally different person."
Yeah,
it's cool.
Well, maybe one day he'll tell you guys about it. But as for now, it's going to be Hellion pressure, doesn't do much but delay some creep. Third base comes up, quick glare here for Dark. INnoVation's going to double upgrades, got Stim on the way. Gets a second set of Hellions over here to again try to delay that creep spread, taking a fourth base very difficult. It's actually going to look for a run by here with this scan, it looks like, but unfortunately unable to find it with the Ravager out here poking him away. But this is a nice setup here for INnoVation to, once his first medevacs come out, do some really strong drop pressure. And the fourth base, again, it's super far away, for the Zerg to take. And it's also, if he takes someone to the top, but if he takes someone that's closer, that's like near his natural, then it's close to INnoVation, so he can harass, which is why delaying that creep spread is so important. He's going to have 1-1 in combat shields around the same time here. And he already has built up quite a large Marine count. He's playing a little bit passive right now, but it's because he took a fast third CC. We're talking about accents and stuff while that was going on, but he did make that fast third CC, took that early, so he's going to have a nice economic lead. Not to mention that he started his upgrades first, so he's got his 1-1 upgrades ahead of Dark's.
You were talking about fourth base locations. Dark decides to spite you and take the one that you weren't talking about out there on the map. I guess he wants to spread that creep towards the center of the map, and
it's kind of a middle ground, for what I was saying. It's closer to INnoVation, but it's a little bit far away, but it's not that far away as the other one.
It's kind of like sticking out there in the middle. It's definitely going to make taking the other two bases a bit easier. And it opens up a nice path if he wants to try to go for counterattacks, you know, around the north side of the map. So might just be wanting to spread his creep over there. We finally have some pressure coming out of INnoVation. Dark's doing this kind of defense with the Road Ravager play, some Lings. And actually has 3 Infestors on the way here too.
Yeah, the quick Infestor tech here is going to be really nice to help defend this. INnoVation does identify it's not that 4th base. Right there, he flew past that, dodging these Corrosive Vials. I like the attempt here from Dark, though. And this Infestor, you know, set of 3, when it has enough energy to fungal, can help shut these drops down in their tracks. And you can finish them off with the Corrosive Vial. It makes a nice pair. Can even be used in traditional combat against the Marines on the ground as well. INnoVation not missing a beat with his 2-2 upgrades, by the way, getting them immediately after having 1-1. He's been able to accomplish a lot here already with these 2 drops, but now the Infestors are out, and I believe they should have enough energy here soon. So he needs to be careful. He doesn't, of course, has no idea this is the case, as Dark is actually going to fast tech to Hive here with the Infestors to help hold. So nice little path into that Hive tech. You have the Infestors to help you hold on to it. You already have Devastation Pit, so
yeah. I was wondering how Dark was going to play this kind of ZVT style, and it's kind of just classic Dark. You know, what he always used to do, even down to the 3 Infestors without the energy upgrade. It's just that safety tech that you add in. You already need the Infestation Pit to go to Hive. You fast tech to Hive, you defend. Except it seems like he's gotten a faster 4th base, perhaps because of the map. He feels like it's a bit easier to defend, and he gets away with it, so I definitely like his position. The only thing that is a little bit worrying is that his upgrades are pretty far behind, but that fast Hive is going to make getting 3-3 much easier, of course.
Absolutely, and the Adrenal Glands, he starts immediately. The one thing I thought we were going to see, too, on this map specifically, because of all the drop play you can see and all the air space, would be Dark's trademark Corruptor style, but he's just skipping it entirely. I mean, it's the fast track to Hive, as you said. The drops are going to, continue to harass during this, but this is a bit risky for INnoVation to go on creep here against the Infestors. He's going to scan here, clear up some of this creep. He's being very conservative with how he positions, like only a small group of Marines at the front, so his whole army can't get fungled. The drop's going to pull units back as well. Double drop.
Screen going wild here, and we got Widowmines into the main now. Is he even going to pull that? Is he even going to notice? Little run by at the same time, though, at the 3rd base is going to do a lot of damage on the counterattack.
Oh, no, these Infestors, though, he's not controlling them. Almost a Marauder and 2 Marines nearly take them out. The drop, rather not the drop, the run by gets shut down here finally. The +2 armor on that 1 Marine allows him to just sit there and solo the rest of the Zerglings. But like, INnoVation has taken a very large army lead right now, and he's going to continue to push this across the map. What Dark is waiting for very desperately is these Ultras, but now he's forced to make different units instead. First Fungal goes down, there's the Biles.
Oh, but the Widowmine hit is massive, and it takes out the entirety of that Ling force. He needs more on the way. That's a pretty frugal amount of Banelings coming through. Really nice Fungals, though, and the Corrosive Biles in tandem will be enough to push INnoVation back and buy Dark some time.
Without those Fungal Biles, he crushes that army once the Lings are gone. The Widowmine hits would have been so good with no Banelings available there. He just wins the game there without those Fungals. Those Fungals are so important, and this wipes a lot of INnoVation's army. Now, he's still in a good spot right now. He's still in good footing here to continue to push this creep back, but that allowed Dark to hold on to that 4th base. It allowed him to get these Ultras out. He's got 2 more on the way. Remaking some Infestors as well. INnoVation, though, 3 upgrades on the way. He's got a strong foothold here. He's pushing that creep back. He's got another wave of units coming across the map to reinforce as well. Factory here even going to give a little bit more vision.
Factory trying to get into the thick of things, trying to burn it with its thrusters. We'll see how that works. This drop is coming in to the 3rd base, and Dark, I mean, he's killing 9 more SCVs. And INnoVation still on 3 bases only, but he will be able to take out this 4th base.
Yeah, getting this 4th is so important. That's often what this matchup is defined by, is whether or not the Terran can kill the 3rd, or excuse me, the 4th base. And he successfully does so here. This 1 Marine in such an annoying spot to continue to harass. Zerglings is on Burrow at a super inopportune moment, right when INnoVation just happened to be nearby. It's just these small things that Dark is trying to do to hold on, to get that Ultra count up. 4 more on the way now. Despite the fact that he lost that 4th, he's able to afford this. He's going to knock down this cooling tower. He's going to, re-expand to the pocket base that's right above his main. He had, despite losing that, he had just enough money to hold on and get these Ultras out. So it's still absolutely a winnable game for him here. as INnoVation just sets up to defend, and it looks like finally take that fourth base. You look at the architecture of INnoVation's base as well, it just feels robotic, it feels very INnoVation-esque what he's doing here. He's just technical as hell here, and
he's got a code. He can't deviate from the code, from the program, you know. It's just kind of what you have to do if you're a robot.
I mean, it looks like the inside of a computer or something when you look at that. When you look at that main base, look at it. The add-ons are like,
really
not
cool.
a single one is one hex out of place. So the game goes on. As fourth base for Dark will be remade. He's making a fifth base now, and that factory is being pushed away. INnoVation has a terrifying army. Oh, nice! Predicts that there's potentially an infestor around here. Gets that scan because that could have been disastrous later on. But still, he's got this terrifying army. He still has Medivacs to threaten drops as well. And the Ultras don't feel that powerful when there's this many Liberators on the map to support this Terran army.
He's going for the main. He's going for the throat right now. That's 5 of those Medivacs coming in. Dark, another counterattack, but he has no idea about that Doom drop into the main. Finally, he rallies his units back, but this might be too late. Look at this position in the main.
Oh, man. Even trying to get Ultras up that ramp, it gets a concave at the top, plus Liberators is going to be a difficult task, really, for Dark here. He's going to try it with one Ultra here, and that's going to tell the story here. Now come the rest of the Banelings and Ravagers, but this is just such a fortified position for INnoVation. Not only that, but he has the ability to rally out Liberators at home to defend any, you know, base trade type move that Dark might try to make here. This feels like this move alone is just checkmating Dark. Dark, yes, he did kill a lot of SCVs, but killing this army feels impossible. The Hive is down. And this is disastrous. This base is going to go down as well here if he can get into position. Looks like Dark will stop him, but the infrastructure is all gone. Ultras, you know, Cavern even being remade right now. He can't even make Ultras. Even if he had it, he couldn't afford it. Yeah, this is looking pretty disastrous.
Is he going to try to come up this ramp and deal with this army? I don't feel like it'll work out well. Nice fungal. Will get some of the bio on the ground, but as you were saying, he doesn't really have much else to help out here. And taking out all that tech, he's going to kind of cut off the production of 3 bases at the same time with this move.
He's even able to kill the larva of this hatchery, as that's how the Liberators work. This is going to be the last fight here. Don't forget, 3-3, just now finishing, way too late. INnoVation has had it for so long, and it's just way too late. It's finished here just for the game to finish. And I mean, that's just one whole extra army here. He's struggling to deal with the remnants of that drop. But his real army is just walking across the map, and I think when Dark sees that, he's going to type GG, as there's just no way out of this one.
Yeah, should be. He tries to get the Miracle Fungals here, and that's not it. He's got a lot more where that came from. Following up, dodges the last Fungal. Another one, another couple coming out here, but that will be the end of it. INnoVation is going to be able to take game number 1, even eating the corrosive biles in the face of the Ultralists. I guess it's going to take a little bit of extra time here as INnoVation slowly pushes Dark out of this one.
I mean, I feel like Dark just can't even accept it. I mean, he did so much harass damage earlier with the Lings, but he could never kill the army, the drop that came across. And he's like, are you doing this still on 3 bases? Like, only 3 bases. INnoVation has a 4th now, landed from the main. But he's probably just thinking to himself, like, oh god, if I could have just taken a fight here, I have the better economy, I win the game, I have, you know, investors. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. He had a ton of Overlords to spot the drop coming across, but still wasn't able to get there in time. GG. Look, the drop ship's going to get into his main base before he can get a slow, clunky Ultra army to run around the horseshoe, as it's definitely a wolf cast now. You know, where he has to run up the ramp into the natural and up another ramp into the main base. Of course, Liberators are going to need placed first. Of course, the drop's going to be at the concave at the top of the ramp first. It's tough to react to that, even if you have Overlords spawning it coming, because he was attacking at the same time.
INnoVation Craigasm as he wins game number 1. Really happy about that one. And yeah, I definitely agree with what you were saying. Nice play there by INnoVation, really keeping up the pressure, identifying that he can go for that kind of push, for that kind of play, and keeping calm under all of that pressure, even with Dark taking out so much of the economy.
INnoVation looks cocky here as we go into game number 2. The map will actually be Overgrowth as we set up for this one, so This is a map that many have considered a Zerg map for a long time, but INnoVation looked super strong in that first game. It feels like we might be watching another 2-0 here.
Yeah, definitely could happen, but Dark, a very resilient player himself, will he be able to come back in the series and tie it up 1-1? Looks like we are about to head into the match right now. INnoVation versus Dark, Game 2.
INnoVation, 이신형. 나, 황영우.
We are here on Overgrowth, and down in the bottom left, the Blue Terran able to take the convincing win in Game 1. It is INnoVation.
And to the top right, in purple, his opponent, Dark. And his trademark triple in faster last game on Newkirk. Unfortunately, not able to stop the train. That was INnoVation. The, I don't know, the fleet, I should say, really. The smashing of that main base, the hive. The smashing, really. Quite nice.
Brilliant!
Brilliant. Oh. Good show. Well, I mean, you know, it's tough on this on that map to be able to respond to heavy drop pressure like that without any sort of Spire tech. And this seems to be kind of the story of this evening in terms of Zerg dealing with harassment, is without a Spire on these maps, especially maps that have a lot of air distance like Newkirk and Daybreak. Without the Spire, it's very, very difficult to you know, hold on to your bases. And even with, if you try to commit to static defense, that's also a loss for you. So, I mean, I just feel like that was a really decisive move by INnoVation, and I almost feel like there was nothing Dark could have done about it because of how he just wasn't prepared for it. He just didn't have the tech to deal with it.
He had to have the vision and the foresight to see it coming. He had to have his overlords a little bit farther out, and he had to respond right away. Everything was just delayed, you know. Overlords not far out enough. Once he saw it on the minimap, he wasn't moving back right away. And, you know, StarCraft can come down to a game of split seconds. You know, everybody's lost that game, especially if you're a Protoss, where it's like, oh, well, my Zealot came out, you know, a half a second too late. I guess I lose, as the Zerglings pile on into your base. But, you know, that's kind of like the multitude of different things. If he was going to hold that off with the build that he did, that needed to go right, that just did not. So you were talking about that Corruptor style. Maybe he experiences Game 1 and he's like, well, time to bring out the other Dark builds.
You could have, you know, I'm just trying to feel like there might have been other opportunities to shut that down. Perhaps if he has Brood and Festers in the main base, they pop up, shut some of those drops down. I mean, it's hindsight bias at this point. The cool thing for Overgrowth is, for a Zerg player, is there's not a whole lot of dead airspace for you to hide your drops and harass, or, you know, do a big play like INnoVation just did. There's just no airspace for that. Like, he will never be able to do a drop like what he just did on this map, unless he has full map control of the east side, where there is a little bit of dead airspace, and he pushes through just without Dark getting vision of it. And it's very unlikely, so one of the reasons why Zergs feel a little bit more comfortable on this map is the drops. If they're out, you can find them and you could shut them down. There's no space that you need Spire Tech to kill the drops with, as we saw earlier. Ooh, this Reaper might not be long for this world if Dark pulls the trigger.
He's waiting. Oh, he's actually going to sneak around, and some of these guys burned on their way out.
He's going to even commit to a Raven this time, so these Hellions looking to do a lot more.
Oh, and 6 Ravens, or not 6 Ravens, 6 Hellions will be committed to as well.
Yeah, this is really similar to what we saw at Challenge, actually, on this very map, is the 4 Hellion run-by can be quite effective when the Zerg tries to hold that third base when you don't have creep over it. It's still fairly far away. You bring your Queens over to defend the third, and then the Hellions go into the main. You have to wall it off, which is costly. It takes time. This Queen does nearly have enough for Transfuse, I believe. Maybe just barely not. So close. Gets the Reaper.
If finishes, and now we have Hellions 5 and 6, but here's this round. Is it enough Lings, though? No, and these two Queens still very low. One of them did get transfused.
That one with the high energy is actually the one that's lowest, so it will be able to transfuse its sister, as you can just see here, but they won't be vulnerable. The key here, though, is yes, he lost a Queen, and he lost a few Lings there, but he has his third base. He secured it, and now he can start to drone that up, so ends up being a small win for Dark overall because he knows that INnoVation committed to those Hellions and didn't get the value he wanted. Raven's going to come over here for auto turret harass, may follow up with the Hellions to get some creep tumor kills, but not going to be a bad choice. This is a super important scout on this third CC as well as the Banshee with these Lings. Interesting he commits to hitting the Lings there instead of going for the main base, but I guess once you're seen, you're not going to do much with the Banshee anyways. No, I love this. This is a move we don't see enough in StarCraft. Is like, okay, I know you're going to run your drones away. I'm not even going to waste my energy until the last second to get the most value out of this. That's pretty cool. Just the fact that the Raven is there. He's like, yeah, run your drones away.
Yeah, it's like harass without actually committing to harass. And yeah, it's a pretty cool idea, but still very much shut down by Dark. Just having stuff in position to deal with this from the get-go. Only 2 drones this time around, but still energy for drones. Good trade there for INnoVation. Spore Crawler on the way to deal with that in the future.
Absolutely. Double Evo Chambers once more, very behind what INnoVation has set up in terms of upgrades. This is normal in this matchup, but it's something that we have to state here because INnoVation has been ahead in upgrades consistently. We saw all those fights happen before the +3 carapace, before the +3 attack for the Ultras hit, because INnoVation had this quick upgrade set that he was never ever missing. He had his armory right on time. This Banshee is going to come in for some delayed harass. Didn't even kill a Ling earlier, gets 1 kill in terms of drones. But INnoVation is really just powering up for that ground army, that ground-based control that we saw last game. Third base has already landed. Man, he has control of the watchtowers. In fact, going to take the second one right as I'm saying this. He has control of the vision, so he knows this third base is safe. And I believe, with this really weak 1 tumor creep spread because of all the pressure of INnoVation, he may just start clearing it with that Raven coming up fairly soon.
Dark does commit to that 4th base. Does have that on the way. We'll have some units here to deal with this drop. Pushes this back. And more roaches on the way, as this time he commits to +1 range instead of the +1 melee, so seems like he wants to invest into the +1 for his roaches and ravagers to start out. Have a bit of a better defense early and mid in this game. And you can see he has committed to a bit more roaches and ravagers this time around. Perhaps, it is a smaller map. He is going to be skirmishing a bit more with the Terran this time. I can't really fault him for this play.
No, definitely not. The double drop here is just going to force units into the main. He doesn't even unload everything because he knows it's not really reasonable. Looking for a kill on the Overlords. Ooh, comes over here to delay the creep. The Queens are going to delay that unload, but he will force these tumors back, actually. One does complete, the rest cleared. So he's delaying this creep spread as he powers up the 3 extra barracks. His third base is really hitting that stride in terms of return on investment on that 400 mineral CC. Now that he's mining it safely, he can add those additional barracks, power up, this is the technical term for it, and then produce a massive bio-army, which will be ahead in upgrades. Hive on the way here, this time with 4 infestors.
And this time at the natural, as you can see.
Yes.
He's like, okay, no, that's not happening again. No game 1 shenanigans. That Raven is still there, by the way, in between the 3rd and the 4th base of Dark.
It almost feels neglected, forgotten. Perhaps he could have been using it to clear some tumors earlier, but it's not going to be as useful now. I love this Banshee. It serves as almost its own little watchtower. It gives vision, makes pushes or even posturing painful, and oh man, 5 kills. You remember the Raven now. And that's not even all the energy it's got. Could do follow-up harassment as well. He takes this moment to take the watchtower once more, and I think he's going to look for a tumor clear. This becomes riskier and riskier as the infestors are out. INnoVation should know the timing of this because Dark is, of course, his former teammate. And he handled the timing really well last time, not overstepping his bounds. This game just feels utterly and completely controlled by INnoVation. Dark making really no mistakes, but INnoVation just playing textbook robotic style, clearing the creep, getting a third base, macroing to create this.
Look at the tanks this time around. He's switching it up. There are no Widow Mines in this mix. He's identified early, very early on in this game, that he should go tanks because of the composition of Dark. And oh man, he's going to get a huge shelling onto all of those Lings in the front. INnoVation has to be careful about a wraparound from those Lings and even a counterattack. As you can see, they're going across the map, but he should be able to get a pretty nice chokehold here in between the two bases.
Oh man, this is such a good position for him here. The tank's going to siege up, and he's cut off reinforcements now from the natural. Those units attacking the natural of INnoVation are sorely missed here. The Roach Warren goes down. He's looking for some miracle fungals here. Gets a decent one off here on these Marines, but there's the splash damage and the scan, and this army is wiped. GG.
Wow. Totally just wrecked as he walks across the map and just slaughters his Zerg opponent who knew it was coming and tried to do whatever he could to hold that off, but INnoVation just got that position at the top of the ramp, and Dark was not prepared for that one.
He just put pressure after pressure after pressure on Dark, no critical damage, which built this massive army with the addition of the siege tanks, as you mentioned, against the infestors. It's so true. No matter which way you look at it, INnoVation plays robotic. He has a program. He follows a recipe. You know, that was a stage where it slightly pepper those Lings that mispath across the map. You know, saute the infestors, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's well done. Cook until GG. And it's not like, you know, there was anything specifically mistake-based that happened with Dark. He just was trying to hit those ultras. INnoVation clearly understood the timing of the map better. Hits with the infestors against him. The infestors not good enough against the tanks, he decided. He got into a really nice position with that huge army he macroed up on 3 bases, uncontested, mind you, as his pressure kept Dark on the defensive. He just has a larger army. Hits this window. The infestors are designed to stop a push like this, and they work really well against Widow Mines, but against the siege tank transition you were talking about there,
yeah,
that adjustment made the game so much easier for him.
Even with 4 infestors this time around, I think they only had 1 fungal each with that timing, so it wasn't enough. He was able to micro around it. Guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be back with SOS versus Solar for the final match of the night.